Hey guys, I'm Ed Clarke, and today I've got a slightly different video for you. I am joined remotely from Washington, I'm about to say Washington, California. That doesn't make any sense. Washington, USA, by John Beeson of WoodSpirit Guitars. How you doing, John?
Doing great. How are you?
I suspect better than you right now because while it is a lovely 2:32 p.m. here in England, it is currently 6:32 a.m.
6:32 a.m. Yes.
Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. John was just telling me that his wife is still tucked up in bed. It's just him and his dogs awake. I would say I appreciate you getting up this early to do this video, but you,
I'm always up. I'm
yeah.
always up.
For those of you who don't know, I went and visited John for a couple of weeks earlier in the year, and John is regularly up 4 a.m., which is baffling to me, but yeah, normal to you,
And
but
I don't set an alarm. I'm awake
oh, baffles me,
at 4
absolutely
4:30 in
baffles
the
me.
morning.
But it's worked out very well for us to be able to have a chat. John, as you can probably tell from the various instruments behind him, is a builder of guitars. So, John, WoodSpirit Guitars, explains to the lovely people what WoodSpirit is.
Wood Spirit actually started a couple of decades ago as Wood Spirit Custom, which was I did a lot of custom furniture and cabinetry and different woodworking projects. I've been in a wood shop since I was about 5, 6 years old. Um, a lot of the tools that I still use either belong to my father or my grandfather. And in 2020, actually, I had always wanted to do a musical instrument in the wood shop and had some friends that had done some. One in particular, Derek, back in Colorado, who's a member of the Colorado Woodworkers Guild. He does extremely high end violins and cellos. And I was always really drawn to that and wanted to do that. And um, my wife introduced me to one of her cousins who's a guitar player. And I was like, oh man, this is it. I'm going to build you a guitar. Well, that was actually about 2018 when we started talking about that. 2020 hit, COVID hit. I worked through all of the COVID time. We were still working. But there was a couple of weeks downtime when we were trying to figure out how we were going to continue working during COVID. And during that time, I was like, this is it. And I found a set of prints for a Gibson 335 dot. And I locked myself in my wood shop and I taught myself how to build guitars. And the response to the first couple, I did the 335 and then I did a 330. Technically, it's closer to a Heritage 530 because it's like the old Gibson long neck um, where it meets the body. And the response was big. Next thing you know, a friend of mine in Colorado was like, "Hey, can you build one of those for my dad?" Uh, yeah, sure. And so I've been doing this for 5.5, almost 6 years now. And obviously, I'm talking with you. I've done guitars for the ever powerful Ed Clarke of Brave Rival. Um,
Flattery will get you
uh,
everywhere, John.
I did a guitar for the late Matt Long of Catfish. I did a guitar and a mandolin for Aaron and Grace Bond of Wind Rivers Meet. So the UK audience will be familiar with those. Some on the American side, I did through a very bizarre and blessed chain of events. I did a guitar for Matthias Latine, who was the 2023 International Blues Challenge winner. And I also did a guitar for a guy some of your fans might have heard of, Christone Kingfish Ingram,
At this
which
point, if any of people watching this video have not heard of Kingfish, you need to go check him out because what are you doing? Absolutely insane player.
he's got a couple of gramophones on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still to this day, I'll be scrolling through my phone and it's like, wait a minute, I have a Grammy winner in my contacts list. This isn't right. This is really bizarre. So yeah, and it's also offered me the opportunity to give a lot of things back. I've donated a lot of custom guitars to different events and things, cancer fundraisers. I've donated several to the Make-A-Wish Foundation here in the United States. Um, the Blues Education Program in Omaha, Nebraska, I've done a couple of donations for them. This last year, they got one of the EC1 Ed Clarke 1 models, and that one they ended up raising almost $4,000
Amazing.
for the program
That's
with that.
fantastic.
So yeah, turned out really well.
Yeah, so what I particularly love about what WoodSpirit does, I don't know whether to talk to you or talk to the camera here. I'm going to talk to you. What I love about what you do as WoodSpirit is you'll have model ranges, like the EC1 is the one that I worked on with you. You have the ML one, obviously, that you worked on with Matt Long, etc., etc. But if you make two EC1s, they won't be the same.
No,
Like
no,
when I've had people come up to me, I've shown and asked what that guitar is, and I talk to them about WoodSpirit, and I explain you could speak to John, you can order yourself an EC1, and you'll get an EC1, but you'll get your EC1, you'll get a one
correct.
that is bespoke to you.
Correct. Just like this model here, this is what I call my junior model, which essentially is the love child of a Les Paul Standard at a 335. So it's a semi-hollow Les Paul shape, but built like a 335. So it's a molded front and back and all that. And I've built several of those now. Not a single one of them is alike.
Yeah.
And that's, the Ed Clarke model. That's a shape, and that if you want, I never want to produce the like a twin guitar.
Yeah.
Ever. Because no two guitars are ever the same. They can look, you can go even from a big factory, you can go into a store, two Les Paul Gibson standards side by side. Guess what? They're going to be different. They're going to sound different. They're going to feel different. And so, but I don't like to do that. And the thing is I'm a small shop. I'm doing custom guitars. It's a custom guitar. I'm building it for you. You might like, somebody picks up, you're nice enough to let somebody play Sappy. It'll be like, man, this is really cool. I love this. I like a little bit thicker neck. Okay, I can do that. I can do the same model with a heavier neck. Or they might say, this is really cool, but I really love these pickups instead of this. Okay, we can switch pickups out.
Before I get on with the next part of the video, if you're enjoying it and you're interested in lessons, gear, giveaways, and other guitar related things, please make sure you subscribe. It really does help out the channel massively.
Yeah, the way Safi, which is my EC1 that you'll see me play on the road, the way that came together was I originally sent you a picture of a Gibson Les Paul Junior double cut was what I originally sent you. And from there, we kind of turned into, it's a double cut Les Paul, but it's thinner, it's semi-hollow with a Fender style neck.
At 25.5 scale.
Yeah, Fender scale length. It was kind of like all the bits that I like of different guitars and bits that you like, and yeah.
Yeah, and a carved top, not a flat top.
Carved top, rather than a flat top, yeah. So yeah, it's just all these ideas chucked into a melting pot and see what comes out. Now, the main reason for making this video today is you sent me a message a few months ago, completely out of the blue, like, I've had this genius brainwave. And you decided to, and I'm honored that you used the EC1 shape to test this idea. What is the idea?
The idea is a lot of people, and I'll tell you all the way back where this started, is if you look, none of my guitars have pick guards on them. I'm not a fan of pick guards.
I remember when I suggested, like, oh, I'd love to have a pick guard this shape, and you were like, no.
I put too much work into the surface, and WoodSpirit. All of mine are translucent tops. They're different colors, but you see the wood grain, and I don't want to cover that up. And so I was like, this, and I saw this, and then it combined with this one, because this one has Ed's It's played around with this one. This one's
I
fun.
love that guitar. I
See,
really love that guitar.
There's a pickup in this. These two little screws right here and here. There's a pickup, but it's hidden under the face, and it comes through really well, and it plays really well. And so I was like, why couldn't I do that? This is tin, but why couldn't I do that with wood? And I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, well, a pickup cover on like a humbucker is, 16 thick if you have a plastic cover on there. If I just go really thin on the surface and back mount the pickups, why wouldn't it come through? And so I experimented and ended up doing an EC1 with 3 pickup on a straight 5-way, and everything was hidden underneath. I wish I could hold it up and show it to you now. That one, I took that one to Nebraska, and a few people played it and really liked it. And a gentleman by the name of Jeff, really great guy, founder of the Playing with Fire Festival. He's kind of sitting there and he's looking at the case and he's like, yeah, I don't think you're going home with that one. I think that one needs to stay with me. And so that one lives with Jeff now. Yeah, that one lives with Jeff in Omaha.
Now, I agree. It would have been lovely that if either John or myself was able to hold a guitar up and demonstrate, blah, 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 blah. But because the guitar's sold, we can't. Luckily, a mutual friend of ours happened to be at that same festival, and you managed to get the guitar into that man's hand. So to demonstrate this guitar, I'm going to throw to Mr. Chris Buck.
Put a professional player behind it.
It was very nice of him to give me the time and spend a little time playing that. So
he's a lovely guy.
Big thanks to him. Great guy. Great guy.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible.
So the Playing with Fire Festival, went back in Omaha to the Playing with Fire Festival, and I took the Stealth model with me. Jeff and I had talked about him possibly buying it, wanted to take a look at it, and I was like, that's fine, I'll bring it out and maybe I'll bring it home. But both the brothers from King messed around with it. Ben Poole messed around with it a little bit and had that. The big test play was Chris Buck from Cardinal Black. And he was very nice. I caught him at the end. You may see in the clip, there's a little bit of background noise. That was actually just after they finished sound check for their performance that night. And he was nice enough and to throw that on an amp and give it a test play. But yeah, all those guys, just phenomenal, really great people. Chris Buck, nicest guy. And yeah, he could play a little bit. Yeah, he plays a little bit.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing around a guitar, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, and gave me some really nice feedback on it. I said I need brutal honesty, but light on the brutal. And he was actually extremely positive. When I asked, so what would you change and all that, he goes, this guitar, honestly, the only thing that I would change is the switch position, the selection switch position. And he's like, that's a personal thing. He's like, that's the only thing.
I did notice in the video he misses it when he goes to try and change the pickup. So that was his entire summary of it.
That was his entire critique. He looked it over. He said the neck felt great. He seemed it seemed like it wasn't like a positive or a negative. He was just, because it's an extremely thin line body, extremely thin line body. And the way that match up, it's a very different feel. So I think you could tell everybody who's touched it was just like, wow, this is like wafer thin. But yeah, he seemed to really like it. But he's like, yeah, that's the only change that comes to mind is he's like, I would want that switch in a different place.
So you say it's a lot thin. Obviously, I've unfortunately never had a chance to play this guitar. How thin are we talking?
You're talking about 1.25 total thickness. So what, 30 millimeter, 33 millimeter.
And compare that to, say, a Les Paul or something.
Les Paul goes almost 2 inches plus. Safi is about 1.75 total thickness.
Right. So it is
it's that much thicker than the Stealth.
Really?
I actually, the cover on the back, I'm sure it's somewhere in here you can put the pictures up, and I'll make sure you get those. But I actually, the cover, the control cover plate, it's wood, and so it's a little bit thicker, and I did magnets, but I actually had to carve that out on the back side of it so that it would accommodate the switch, the 5-way switch, because that's the thickest basically hardware that had to go in the whole thing. So the thickness was based off of what I could get away with to fit that switch in it.
So if you had your way, ruling over the laws of physics, you'd have had it even thinner.
Possibly not too much thinner, but maybe a little bit. The other thing is, because the pickups are at the surface, the neck is set extremely deep, which keeps your action height at a correct height above the face of the guitar, because the pickups can't be elevated to the string to adjust that. I had to bring all the action down. I had to bring the action down, had to bring the string height down, had to put the neck in.
Because you've got that recess for the bridge as well, haven't you?
Correct. I actually had to carve the bridge in to get it to sit down low enough. So there is a recess, kind of like what you see on like a Rickenbacker, where they recess where the tail goes in. It's similar to that, but that helped drop everything down. A side benefit of all of that is that accessibility that you like on Sappy so much at the high end of the fretboard. This is even easier to get to the high end because you have the deep cut like Sappy, but you have less thickness in the overall body. There's a lot less to reach around.
Yeah. As me, I've recently acquired a Les Paul Standard, and while it's a great guitar and I love it, having got used to Safi and being able to reach 22nd fret so easily, suddenly I'm really stretching over it, and it makes you really appreciate the ease of accessibility at the top end.
There's a lot more bulk there. There's a lot of body. A lot of body.
So pickup wise, firstly, what pickups are actually underneath the hood of this Stealth?
At the neck and bridge, it is a match set of a BYO, a Blizzard of 59. So, which is kind of a generic, they're PAF humbuckers. So they're designed off of like a 59. And they're not super expensive, but I've gotten amazing feedback. They are really a lot of bang for the buck. So it's a really nice set of matched PAF humbuckers. In the mid, I ran the same mid in that as I did in Safi, which has kind of become kind of a go-to mid pickup, which is the hot stack strap. It really, when you bring that in with the humbuckers, whether it's in the neck mid or in the bridge mid position of the switch, it brings in some really cool tone.
That's the Seymour Duncan, yeah?
Correct. That's the Seymour Duncan. The other thing I like about that is you get a very stratty tone, but because, which I didn't mention earlier, because I specialize in semi-hollow and hollow bodies, like if I run a P90, I prefer to run Fat Cats because they control very well. The hot stack strap controls very well. Unlike a typical single coil in a semi-hollow, you can get a lot of feedback and it'll really talk back to you and try to run away with you. in a semi-hollow or a hollow body. So I like where you can get a really good tone with a very stable pickup, and that has really become kind of one of my go-tos. And I think you can attest that the sound it's right there.
Yeah, when we did the prototype for Safi, I insisted on the Seymour Duncan Duckbucker, which is a
Yeah.
great pickup. It is a phenomenal pickup. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
it is.
But on that prototype, I ended up basically never using the middle because it didn't give me anything that the neck or bridge didn't. And that's where I
Correct.
went, all right, John, you were right. You said we should use the hot stack. All right, put it in, let's see what happens. And yeah,
When
you were
you
absolutely
ran
right.
that, I was like, you're gonna get mud. You're just gonna get mud. You know, it'll sound like really nice mud, but there won't be any distinction. There won't be any distinction. It'll just, you know, there'll be very little difference in that.
See, the
And
Duckbucker works great in my Strat. So do you think that's a hollow body versus solid body thing?
some of it, yeah.
Right.
And you get some very distinct things. That's what I used the mid on Matt Long's guitar, Athena, which his was a very different. When he first gave me the stack that he wanted on the pickups, I was like, okay, this he wanted, and he didn't specify anything. He wanted certain types. He wanted a humbucker at the bridge. He wanted a P90 at the neck, and he wanted like a single coil in the middle, which led to but no brand, no, just that's what he turned me loose with. And I looked at several different manufacturers because I wanted to keep it a matched set if possible. And I ended up going Seymour Duncan, and he got the Fat Cat P90. I went through a lot of humbuckers and listened to a lot of different humbuckers because I was thinking, you know, possibly, you know, do a 59, do a lot of different ones. I actually ended up doing a Saturday Night Special humbucker because that's kind of that 1970s big arena rock kind of sound, and did that, and then ran that hot stack in the middle. And I'll tell you what, every player that touched that guitar, when they cycled it through the different positions, they were completely blown away at the tones you were getting off of that combination. It was, yeah, it was definitely, there's a special sound to that guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. When you, firstly, you went for a humbucker in the neck and bridge rather than single coils. Is there a particular reason?
The thing is, I'm a big fan of like the fat strats and those, you know. I love the sound of a humbucker. You got to love the sound of the single coils. But in a semi-hollow, when you can run a combination of those, number one, you get a very versatile guitar. You can get a lot of different sounds out of it. And I like the way that they play together. If you go, okay, Safi, that number two position where you're running the 59 and the hot stack together, that is such a sweet tone, man.
It's somehow
It's just,
more stratty than a Strat, and I don't
it's
understand how
just,
that is.
it's just so silky. You get a little bit of that Strat quack, but it's just with it's like a Strat quack just smothered in butter. It's just awesome, you know.
It's a phenomenal sound.
That's why I think it's, yes, they sound great, but when you put them in the right combination, it's just, you can get some really smooth and really great tone out of it.
Before we finish up this video, I can't not mention the Jack Daniels guitars on either side of you right now. Talk to me briefly about why you decided to make cigar box guitars, or in this case, whiskey tin guitars.
Um, well, the cigar box guitars have just blown up in popularity over the last few years, and they're really cool. And a lot of my favorite artists play them, and it was like, I can mess around with that. And I got a few buddies that I've met that's what they do with cigar box guitars, and they're like, yeah, give it a shot, man. And so I did. And I happened to start with the tin on this instead of starting with just a cigar box. I went from scratch because I was like, well, I can basically make my own cigar box, but I'll do it with bourbon. And found that it's a lot of fun because the standard guitars can get pretty intense. It's like the spec has to be very particular and you're worried about a lot of things and a lot of things have to line up. When I started doing cigar box guitars, you can kind of wing it. I mean, you're still building a high quality instrument, but you just have fun with it. You can do it whatever scale length you can. It's just it's a lot of fun. It's definitely, yes, this is therapeutic, and like I say, my wood shop is my happy place. But those, I gotta say, they're lower stress. So
there you have it, guys. The new WoodSpirit Guitars Stealth run. If you're interested in that run or any of the other things that John deals with, John, what is the best way of getting in touch with you?
Facebook, you can message me on Facebook, or you can visit the website, WoodSpirit Guitars, all together, woodspiritguitars.com, which a mutual friend of ours, Chris Griffith, is actually, bear in mind, the website is bad right now because I built it. I build good guitars. I build bad websites. Chris is helping me rebuild the website. So that'll be better soon. But you can message me through the website as well. If you want to see a lot of more of my current stuff, Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well, WoodSpirit Guitars.
Cool. I'll put links to all of that stuff below. Thank you so much for joining me today, John. I know you're a busy man.
I really appreciate it. It's always great talking to you, Ed.
Okay, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon ticked to be notified of new videos. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.